So guys, welcome back to the channel. And to begin, I need to make a disclaimer. I have to say, guys, I'm a consumer, a watch lover, an addict in this hobby just like you. But from time to time, I end up having to sell one of my pieces. Now, this is a point where I have to give all this credit to watch dealers and people in the service industry in general. People who have to serve, whether it's a server or in sales. Having to deal with customers is a headache. Now, the one thing that gets under my skin when it comes to buyers are when they ask, whether it's the first or second question, do you have box and papers? Now, I don't know if you guys are like me. Whenever you sell a timepiece and someone reaches out and just says, hi, do you have box and papers? I'm like, when they ask for box and papers, what goes through my head is, why are they asking if I have box and papers? So sure, you ask for box and papers. Yes, that's annoying. But it's when a buyer is making that a deal breaker if it doesn't have box or papers. Come on, I'm making this video because it's actually a serious problem that's going on in the watch community. Asking for box and papers. It's really not that deep. So of all the serious watch collectors that I've met in my life, the serious watch collectors don't really care about papers and much less a box. A box today, if we're speaking for Rolex, may cost maybe $100, sometimes even cheaper if someone doesn't really care, or it goes all the way up to $250. Now, papers, it all depends on the piece. Guys, it may make you seem or sound like an educated consumer, but when it comes to papers, it doesn't matter with a lot of the pieces that you may purchase. Let's give, for example, a Submariner or a Rolex Datejust. You may ask, okay, we don't know if it's gonna be a collectible one day, but more than likely, it's not going to be. Unless you're looking to pick up a one of one or a Tiffany stamp dial, let's say AP or Rolex or something vintage that's rare, I don't understand why papers should be that much of a big deal. So between papers and a timepiece, which one is more easily faked? The answer is papers. Papers are so easy to fake. Watches, a little bit more technical, a lot more goes into it. So don't really put your mind at ease whenever a seller says, oh, I have papers. It's easy to fake papers, a card, make it look like it's a vintage paper, an older paper sometimes. So don't focus heavily on papers, guys. Why focus so heavily on whether it has papers or not and not focus more on the condition of the timepiece? That's my primary focus when it comes to picking up a timepiece. I look to see the condition. That's the type of questions I look for when, someone's trying to buy a timepiece from me. What's the condition? What's the year? What's the service history? That's more important than whether or not it has papers. Now, I could get into the mindset of a new consumer, especially getting into these high-end pieces. Spending a certain amount could be stressful. And when you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you hear box and papers. So that may make you think, okay, box and papers make the watch official, authentic. But that's really not the case. Making sure that the dial is period correct, the bracelet is period correct, everything is correct and original on a timepiece is more important. So take my advice, guys, when looking for your new timepiece. I know some of you new guys would be a little bit stressed out when it comes to it, but take my advice, seek out some experts, into the vintage market, even in the new market. When you're picking up a new piece, yes, it could be a red flag if a new piece, let's say it's 2-3 years old and there's no papers or card with it. That's gonna be a red flag you may wanna look into. But you have to understand, when it's a timepiece that's maybe in the 60s, 70s, 80s, sometimes even 90s, papers are expired. It's a 1-year warranty in many cases, and most people just throw them out. So a lot of people haven't looked at them as a big deal, especially back then. So a lot of pieces, like the one I'm wearing right now, it's a 1979. It doesn't have papers, and that's not a big deal for me because the watch is correct, everything is right, and it's authentic. Guys, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below your opinion on box and papers. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next video.